Hi, this is Trini at Blackstone Security. If you're interested in obtaining your concealed weapon permit license, give us a call at 352-787-1103. That's 352-787-1103. Our office is located at 2501 West Main Street, Suite 109, Leesburg, Florida. That's 2501 West Main Street, Suite 109, Leesburg, Florida. I wanted to come to you today in an effort to enhance your knowledge about the Florida Concealed Weapons Law as it might pertains to Florida State Statute 790.06. In taking and getting a concealed weapon license and taking on that responsibility, one thing that you should know is that this is a great responsibility that you're taking on. So if you choose to arm yourself with a weapon, the best weapon and the most indispensable weapon that you can arm yourself with is the weapon of knowledge. Just because you get a license to carry a concealed weapon does not give you the right to use that weapon. Just because you get a license to carry a concealed weapon, it does not give you the right to use the weapon. One other thing, just because you get a license to carry a concealed weapon, it does not make you a freelance police officer. Just because you get this license to carry a concealed weapon, it does not make you a freelance police officer. Now understand, we're living in a society in days and time in which our kids can't go to school without school shootings. Our high school graduates can't go to college without somebody shooting in the colleges. In these days and times, we can't enjoy movie theater without somebody shooting up the movie theater. And I think that it's a sad day in America when we can't even go to church and enjoy church anymore without somebody coming into church and shooting up the church. Nevertheless, we can't even enjoy the confinements of our own homes now without somebody home invading our homes. The days of law enforcement and the myth of we serve and protect, those days are over. Well, it's never been nothing but a myth. So this is the reason why we must prepare to be able to protect ourselves and others. We can't look unto our local law enforcement to protect all of us at one time. I think that myth has been reduced to the methods of we serve and investigate, because by the time our local law enforcement and our police departments arrive at a crime scene, usually we have a victim and the criminal is gone. In the United States, there was 2.3 million burglaries last year. That accounted for 1 every 13 seconds. What is the chances of somebody coming into your house and you being prepared or not prepared? Here at Blackstone Security, we get you prepared for that day if something of that magnitude was to happen to you. So here at Blackstone Security, we emphasize on teaching the law and we emphasize on teaching safety. We emphasize on the law because I want to make it clear, the law will keep you out of jail. We teach on safety because safety will keep you from injuring yourself and someone else. Listen, Just because you get a license to carry a concealed weapon, it does not give you the right to use that weapon. Just because you get a license to carry a concealed weapon, it does not make you a freelance police officer. We teach law here at Blackstone Security as it might pertains to Florida State Statute 790.06, because if you do anything to the outside of the confinements of Florida State Statute 790.06, you will go to jail. Just because you get a license, it does not give you the right to use your weapon. Do anything outside of the confinements of that law, and you will go to jail. If you do not exercise the safety precautions, and if you do something without to the outside of the safety measures of the NRA standards, and you cause an accident, there is no law that will protect you just because you have a concealed weapons license. In using your weapon, if you decide to use it, like I stated earlier in the caption, just because you get a concealed weapons license, it does not give you the right to use your weapon. Just because you get a concealed weapons license, it does not make you a freelance police officer. However, if you choose, it's your choice, and if you choose to use your weapon in the commission of a felony, make sure that you use your weapon while that felony is being committed. Make sure that you use your weapon while the felony is being committed. If and when the criminal turns and walks away and there is no longer a threat, remember that you are not a freelance police officer. That crime, as far as you are concerned, as a concealed weapons license holder, is over. The crime is over as far as you are concerned. It is now your duty to observe and report. Observe and report. You use your weapon in the commission of a felony when you are trying to protect yourself or either somebody else from death or seriously bodily harm. Use your weapon when you're trying to protect yourself or somebody else from death or seriously bodily harm, or in the commissions of felonies such as a rape, kidnapping, a burglary, or perhaps in the commission of where you know that somebody is going to commit perhaps a murder. Here at Blackstone Security, you will learn the special requirements that you will have to have in order to be able to obtain a concealed weapons license. We also will give you instructions on the law as it might pertains to the difference between a concealed weapon and a concealed firearm. We will also give you instructions as it might pertains to Florida State Statute 790.06 on the places where you can and you cannot carry a weapon, even if you have a concealed weapons license. These are the places that you cannot carry a concealed weapons even if you have a license. There are also some states that are reciprocal to the Florida State Statute 790.06, which states these states are the states in which you can carry your weapon into, but there are also some states that you cannot carry your weapon into. There are states that do not allow or that do not recognize the Florida concealed weapons law, and you cannot carry your weapon into these states. We will also learn about the do's and the don'ts as far as carrying your weapons into these states. I want to talk a little bit about the Florida Stand Your Ground law. This law gained its notoriety in national famous case, the Trayvon Martin's case out of Sanford, Florida. Some things come out of this Stand Your Ground law, which is known to us today as the Castle Doctrine, the Castle Doctrine law. What is the Castle Doctrine law? The Castle Doctrine law tells us that you have a right to protect anywhere you have a right to be. The Castle Doctrine gives you a right to protect anywhere you have a right to be. So, say for instance, if you go down to your doctor's office, and if you are a concealed weapon holder and you have your license, and if you are armed, and somebody come into your doctor's office and tries to rob the doctor's office, you have the right to protect that office because you have a right to be there. That's basically all the Castle Doctrine is saying, is that you can protect anywhere that you have a right to be. Also, up under the Florida Stand Your Ground law, this law is considered to be an umbrella of protection, that it gives a broad scope of protection if you are within the confines and the confounds of the law. One thing that we found in the Trayvon Martin's case is that the aggressor, and one of the elements up under this law is that the aggressor is not protected up under this law. And this is what we found. The media had the whole nation ill-informed about the Trayvon Martin case. Everybody in America everybody across the nation thought that this case was about stand your ground. But it never was about stand your ground, because the elements of the law did not fit the ground. Therefore, the attorney for George Zimmerman could not use this Florida Stand Your Ground law. This law states that everyone in the state of Florida is protected under the law. Okay, and actually, you do not have to even be a citizen to be covered up under this law. Force needs to be equal or less than the aggressor. You can protect yourself and others. The law offers sovereignty immunity. And listen, you have no duty to retreat. In other words, you stand your ground. If you want to fight, come on, let's fight. You don't have to run, or you don't have to retreat from the fight anymore. That's the basics of the stand your ground law in Florida. If somebody wants to come into your house, you can protect your house because this is your castle. Even though you may be in somebody else's office, but because you have a right to be there, that is considered your castle, and you have a right to protect it. So we're talking about places like Walmart, McDonald's, gas station, dentist office, any place that you have a right to be, even the church. Soft target is your church. You have a right to be at church. You can protect the church if somebody comes into church and tries to hurt yourself or either somebody else. Some of the safety features that we like to go over in class here at Blackstone as it might pertains to the Glock 9mm semi-automatic 17-shot. We will teach you the characteristics of that particular weapon to make sure that you familiarize yourself with those features and to make sure that you have a clear and a precise understanding what those characteristics are used for and what they would do for you as a shooter. Here in the safety curriculum at Blackstone, as it might pertains to the safety of our firearm training, we teach safety out of the NRA safety manual. For those of you that don't know what the NRA is, that's the National Rifle Association. And the NRA has three main rules amongst many other rules. But the three main rules that the NRA like to enforce is that, number one, we always keep your weapon pointed downrange. Always keep your weapon pointed downrange. Number two is that you always keep your finger off the trigger. Always keep your finger off the trigger. Number three, always keep your gun unloaded until ready to use. Always keep your gun unloaded until ready to use. At the conclusion of the class, you'll be taken to a gun range in which you'll be required to engage a target accurately. After you have accurately engaged that target, you will be given a certificate of completion. You're now ready for the application process in which you have to submit your fingerprints, your photograph, and your application to the Department of Agriculture. Then within 2 to 3 weeks, you should have your license back and you should be all set. Remember, just because you get a concealed weapon license, it does not give you the right to use your weapon. Just because you get a concealed weapon license, it does not give you the right to use that weapon. And just because you get a concealed weapon license, it does not make you a freelance police officer. So observe the law, obey the law, and be safe. Thank you. We are a family-owned, operated business by Trinity L. Thomas Sr., Betty J. Thomas, Trinity L. Thomas Jr., Kamala Thomas, and Tiffany Thomas.